Have you been lurking around, dabbling, looking, peeking around corners, trying to decide whether or not you want to dive into digital product sales? Well, I'm here to tell you it is time to stop looking and time to start doing. So let's come on in and let's have a conversation about how you can get started with digital products fast. If you have been to my channel before, welcome back. And if this is your first time, hey friend, hey, I am so glad that you have found me. My name is Carolyn, and this channel is all about how to enjoy your life while building your business. And one of the ways I am doing that is by incorporating something called digital products to bring in more money without trading more time. So if that's something you're interested in, you are in the right space. I was talking to somebody recently who was super curious about digital products and had kind of been looking, peeked at a couple things, seen a couple like landing pages, but hadn't actually pulled the trigger on any one in particular. It got me started to thinking that there's probably other people out there who are doing the same thing. We've all seen the posts on TikTok or YouTube about making thousands of dollars in a week, about how fast you can get started with digital products. And it's easy to think like this might be too good to be true. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've done digital products probably the last 3 to 5 years, and I did not make $5,000 my first week. I started my business about 10 years ago as a coach and a consulting, working with schools and youth serving organizations. And that business has been good to me. It's ultimately led me to walk away from my full-time job as a school counselor, so that was good. The challenge with that business is, like any service-based business, you're always trading time for money. And so I started kind of dabbling in digital products, making a few, putting a few out, making a little bit of money here or there, but I never really took it as seriously as I could. That was until a few months ago. And around that time, I was getting ready to have surgery and knew that I was gonna be off work for a little while. And I wanted to make sure that I was protecting my income. I'm a single mother, and not having income coming in for any extended period of time would not be a good thing. So I started looking at ways that I could generate additional income by getting serious about these digital products. And simply by being more intentional with my digital products and putting them out in front of my existing audience more, I was able to increase my sales, which was really helpful in that interim. And it got me started to thinking, what if I could get these products in front of more people? And that's actually what led me to digital marketing. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because this is an introduction to digital products for beginners. And so I want to make sure that we take you all the way from the start to where you can start actually making some money. So to be really clear, a digital product is simply something that is a digital resource, meaning connected to a computer or a cell phone, that can be sold electronically. There is no stock that you have to hold and nothing that needs to be shipped. This can be an ebook, a video course, a template, an audio download. There's so many different options. It could also be like a membership. If you notice on YouTube now, in addition to you being able to be a subscriber, you can become a part of the private membership of some of your favorite people on this app. And that's another way that you can generate additional income. But basically, a digital product is something that a person can buy, download immediately, and get access to the resource, information, or tools that they need to solve a problem in their existing life. And if you're curious about like what the topics might be, if you can think of it, there's a course for it. There's an ebook for it. There's a resource for it, something that can be sold digitally. Whether it is how to do a yo-yo, how to garden, how to cook, how to clean your kids' rooms. I promise you, anything you can think of could be a digital product. Now, I always encourage people who are looking for a passive or maybe a semi-passive income stream to consider digital products because the income potential is unlimited, right? I can't guarantee you that you're gonna make $1,000 right out of the gate. But what I can tell you is I'm about to put you up on some game right now. And if you follow these steps, you'll be well on your way to getting your first product up and running and getting that cash rolling in. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about what I wish I would have known or had access to when I did first start, and give you an opportunity to get access to it too. You only need 3 things to have a profitable digital product, right? You need to have a solution to a problem. You need to have a person who actually has that problem. And you need to have a way to get paid. And in this video, we're going to talk about all 3 of those things. People buy digital products for all sorts of reasons, but the number one reason why they're buying a product is because they have a problem that they need solved. Let me give you a couple examples. I want to lose 10 pounds, but I don't want to give up my favorite foods. So I buy an ebook that tells me how to make my favorite foods healthier. I buy a house and I want to fix my yard, but I have a very limited budget. And so I buy an introduction to gardening course, which tells me exactly what I need to do to get my yard up and running in a very DIY friendly way. I'm feeling stressed and overwhelmed, and I want to focus on relieving that stress in a natural way. And so I download an app or purchase audio meditations, which allow me to relax myself and de-stress right from the comfort of my home. I need to get my money right. And so I download a budget template that helps me start to track my finances so that I can see the progress that I'm making and also the places where I might be able to ramp up and do better. There's so many types of digital products that can be created as long as you know this: you have to solve a problem. When you're thinking about what problem you want to solve, I want you to think about what skills do you already have? What knowledge do you already have? What have you already been successful at or have you been able to do? When I started selling digital products, I had come from being a school counselor. I was working as a school consultant, and so I had access to a network of people who were in the educational space. I also had over 20 years of experience, multiple certifications and degrees. So it was super easy for me to say, like, I'm going to sell a worksheet or a PowerPoint template or an ebook or a guide. It was very easy because these were all things that I already knew how to do. So, question number one, what is it that you already know how to do that somebody else doesn't know how to do that you can get paid for? That can be your first course. And don't just think about the things that you do for work, because let's say that you know how to make a mean pound cake, or you are exceptional at doing your own makeup. All of these are things that could be a digital product because there is always someone who doesn't know how to do those things. Do not underestimate the smallest skills that you have, because I promise you there is somebody who doesn't know how to do something that comes easily for you. Okay, so now you got an idea of what problem you want to solve with your digital product. Now you got to start thinking about who is the person that has this problem and where are they hanging out. Now, this is the piece that a lot of people will not tell you about digital products. Now, this is the piece that a lot of people won't tell you. Yes, it is super easy to create a digital product. Under a couple of hours, you can have one up and ready to go. But that's not going to necessarily get it sold. You got to know who the person is who has that problem and is looking for the solution, and also the one who's ready to pay for the solution too. That's really something called marketing. It is getting in front of the people who are your potential customers and letting them know that you have something that they might want to buy. So let's use our example about the gardening, right? So there's a lot of people who might be interested in gardening. Maybe there are retirees who want to take up a new hobby. Maybe there's teachers who want to incorporate some gardening into their classroom. Or maybe there is a young married couple who just bought their first house with a very limited budget and is trying to figure out how to get their yard to look like, not look like the worst one on the block, right? Those three different types of customers are going to be hanging out in different places. And so they're going to be looking for the same solution, but they might be looking for it in a little bit of a different way. So you got to choose which one of those people you want to sell to. And when you choose, that's going to give you the direction as far as where you're going to show up to sell your digital product. So let me give you an example. If I'm going to target, using my gardening example, if I'm going to target young married couples who want to get their yard to be not the worst one on the block, right? I probably am going to be on YouTube or TikTok because that's where I know they might be searching. They might also be searching on Pinterest. They probably want some type of a video course. They might also want something that includes maybe like a checklist or a shopping guide. Those are the kind of things that they might be interested in. You want to make sure when you're getting ready to sell your digital product that you show up in the place where your customer is. So you know what problem you're solving and you know who you're solving it for. Now you got to have a way to get paid. There's a lot of different places to host your digital products, right? Because we are selling this in a digital way, you won't have a stock room, you don't have a warehouse, you literally are storing them digitally on your computer. And the great thing is when you upload it one time, the computer will do all the work, shipping it where it needs to go every time somebody makes a purchase. Now, I have a lot of my products stored on my own personal website because I've had that website for the past 10 years throughout my business. So I have a lot of things stored there. But I also cross-post my products in other places. So my school-based products are also on Etsy or Teachers Pay Teachers. I also keep links of them in my bios on my social media platforms and in my signature of my emails. There's all kinds of ways that you can get the word out about the product that you sell. Now, one of my favorite places to host your digital products is on StanStore. That's a very mobile friendly version. So if you know your customers are probably going to be buying from their cell phone, StanStore works just great. Other options include Shopify or Beacon.ai. If you're going more for a video course, you might consider something like Thinkific or Teachable. There's a lot of different options, and most of them do include free trials. If you're interested in some of the ones that I have personally used, make sure you check the description box where I'm going to give you all the details on the options that I have used in the past and what I recommend. The great thing is once you choose where you're hosting your product, that also usually going to give you a good sign about where you're also going to get paid. Now, I generally recommend having access to a couple different payment processors, and fortunately, most of them integrate very well with all the different hosting places that I mentioned. So for example, you could use Stripe, you might be able to use PayPal. I do not recommend anything like Venmo or Cash App because if somebody pays you on one of those platforms, you're gonna have to deliver their product manually. Like you're gonna have to email them over the PDF or something like that. And that defeats the whole purpose of making a digital product. So make sure that you take the time to set your business up correctly by getting your Stripe account, your PayPal account, and attaching those to whichever platform you choose to host your product. Now, if I was starting over from scratch, here's what I would do differently. Instead of creating a product from scratch, I would start with a template. Now, I do have some templates available in my storefront, but honestly, there's a lot of different options for templates depending on where you are. I'll also include some links below about some of the places where I buy my templates that you might actually enjoy. The great thing about a template is it completely shrinks the time from idea to creation by giving you not a blank canvas, but a structured canvas. And so you can take your ideas, your talents, your skills, your knowledge, your experience, and basically plug that into somebody else's format, and it can go so much faster for you. The other thing I would do differently if I was starting over from scratch today is I would start by getting the skills that I need to market my business. Remember how I said when I first started my digital products, I had kind of a ready-made audience. I honestly probably had 3,000 or 4,000 people in a Facebook group. I had probably a couple thousand people on my email list. I had been speaking at conferences all around the country. And so every time I was speaking, I was always adding people to my email list. So I had ready-made audiences that were ready for the things that I was creating. But if you're starting from scratch and you don't have an audience, you're gonna have to build one. There's basically just two ways to stand out. One is to pay for an ad. So you create an ad and put it on Facebook or TikTok or even YouTube, and you pay to have your product shown to people so that they'll buy it. Now, that's the expensive way to do it and not the way I would recommend for a beginner. Ads can be really complicated, and a lot of people are actually spending hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars. So unless you got that kind of money to invest in an ad, I wouldn't use that as my first choice. The other option to get in front of your potential customers is organically, which means that they find you because you are ready to find. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, I think I want that one. I want the organic one. And you might be saying, how can I do that? Well, let me tell you this. First of all, this is organic. I didn't pay to sponsor this video, but because you have expressed an interest in digital products or digital marketing or side hustles or making money online or making money from home, whatever platform you're watching this on, it has recognized that that's what you're interested in. And because I knew how to position this video, it was able to get in front of your eyes. That's the power of digital marketing. This is the thing that I would do if I was starting over today. I would invest in a course that teaches me the skills I need to grow my business. Now, the great thing about this course is that it's going to teach you everything you need to know about starting a business that's online. It's going to walk you through the foundation of making sure that you're clear about your niche, knowing exactly who your person is and what problem you're solving. Now, the great thing about this is when you purchase this course, it also gives you access to sell this course, which means that you can have your very first product pretty much up immediately after you purchase. Would you do me a favor? Since you've been lurking, you've been watching, I know you really are interested in digital products. There's something inside of you that's telling you this is a good opportunity for you, that maybe it can be the solution to the problem that you've had. I want to make sure you know that even though this is a market that is booming, growing, and thriving, it's not oversaturated. Yes, there are a lot of people who are in the digital product and digital marketing space, but there's always room for you. Don't look around you and look at other people's success and then convince yourself that it's not possible for you because there's no more room. That's just not true. Your unique perspective, your unique skills and personality and talent, all of those are highly valuable. And with the right skills and the right process, you can take that and turn it into a digital product that will pay you every day. If you are still unsure about getting started with your digital product business, or there's anything that wasn't clear, do me a favor, drop a comment below this video, ask your question so that I can come back and make sure that you get the answer that you need. If you are now convinced, you know that you are ready, I want you to click the link below to get access to the roadmap. You get immediate access as soon as you click it and make your purchase, you get immediate access. And yes, there is a payment plan which can make this fit into most people's budgets. The last thing that I would do differently if I was starting over today is I would make sure that I get connected to a community of people who are able to help me and support me and give me feedback. Now, when you purchase the course below, you do get access to a community automatically that includes thousands of people who have purchased this course and have been applying the skills to their existing business and making literally millions of dollars. But you also get access to me because in addition to you getting access to that community that is growing and thriving, you also get access to my mentoring, which is hosted live every single week to make sure that you never get stuck and never get left behind. So what are you waiting for? It is time for you to step into the digital age. Get started with your digital product business now so you can make every day payday.